Are you struggling to make your low content books stand out in the market? What you need is a great brainstorming session to figure out how to create for different audiences in different niches. The good news is that there are plenty of creative and effective ways to discover lucrative niche markets. In this video, I'm going to share 15 unique methods for brainstorming potential niches that you can explore in order to gain an edge in the marketplace. By the end of this video, you should be able to take the ideas and break out hundreds of niches so you are never stuck without an idea for your next low content book. Hey, and welcome to my channel. I am Rebecca Boland, a corporate banker turned mompreneur. With my 2 boys under 2 at home, I'm exploring various ways to generate diversified income streams from the comfort of my house. And I'm sharing transparency about all the less glamorous moments that most experts don't tell you. A big welcome back to all of my subscribers, and hello to anybody new here on my channel. I highly recommend you hit subscribe now if you are interested in the truth about making money online from a completely honest, unbiased standpoint. In today's video, I have compiled 15 ways to brainstorm various niche ideas for your low content KDP business. And as a quick aside, in any business you'll do, you'll hear about niching down to make sure that your product speaks to a specific audience. So while this video is made towards book publishing at the moment, you can take these brainstorming tools and ideas that we'll walk through today into any other e-commerce business, from blogging to product sales. So let's just jump right on in. Now, first off, many pros will tell you to start with your own passions and interests. Obviously, it's easiest to create products that you know, like, and would use yourself. No matter what endeavor you start, you'll always want to start there, because if you're not interested in the product, why should somebody else be? But for me, that advice was too high level and doesn't necessarily get my creative juices flowing. So I do throw it out there to make sure you keep it in back of mind, because I promise you, if you stick through this video, you will leave with hundreds of different ideas, and going back to that one key statement will help you narrow down where you should start. So I do have a whole video dedicated to what Amazon KDP is and what low content publishing is, and I'll link those here for anybody who wants more details on those to start out. However, for all of these examples coming up, let's just picture a general journal or notebook. Picture in your mind that you have created a simple lined journal, and you're wondering how the heck anybody is going to buy your lined journal over anybody else's. So while we can always customize the interior with specific images and quotes, also keep in mind one of the easiest ways to picture how we can use the niches is for the cover. So picture all of these ideas as we're brainstorming, not only the types of interiors you can create, but also the types of covers that you could create even on a simple lined journal. Number 1 is a huge one: health and wellness. Start by thinking about health and wellness and how you can break that down even further into another 24 micro niches. When you think about health and wellness, you can also think about mental, physical, and even spiritual. In terms of mental wellness, we're thinking about guided journals, self-help, self-development, maybe anxieties, maybe relationships. There's a lot within the mental wellness space that lends itself to guided prompted journals, or spiritual-based, maybe meditation journals. Thinking through finding some quotes and putting them within a 30-day yoga challenge guided notebook. Of course, you can also think about physical health and wellness. The physical health and fitness industry is always a huge category in any product type. So within that category, it makes me brainstorm things around the gym. What about creating a gym log? We can break down the gym even further. Some people are bodybuilders, weight trainers, and might want to specifically track the amount of weight they can lift doing different exercises, how many sets, how many reps. On the other hand, you might have a runner's journal. You might have a runner's logbook specifically made to track your training from couch to 5K or to your first marathon. We can also think about physical health in terms of what we eat. There's also always a huge market for any type of diet plan and weight loss. Even just a weight loss tracker can be geared towards weight loss using the keto diet, using the Atkins, South Beach, paleo. Perhaps you can throw in a few recipes on some pages, or even create your own low content recipe book. It could be a 30 days of recipes to get you started on your new keto journey. Think of all the specific types of ways various people eat and create their meals. So you can see how even if you create one simple logbook for something like weight loss, diet, and exercise, for somebody to track stats like their calories in and out, their weight loss, their size changes, you can design specific covers that target somebody with different diet plans. So all of a sudden, the internal pages look like they are geared to somebody on the exact same path that your target customer is on. Within health, you can also think about medical logbooks and journals. Think about types of things that your doctor tells you should be tracking. Blood pressure, cholesterol, insulin levels if you're diabetic. Are there medications that you should be taking? What about chronic illnesses that people have and need to log their reactions to different type of medications? What about a family medical records tracker to jot down all of the information for parents and children all in the same place? All of these ideas alone lend themselves to 100 different variations. And you guys, I said I was going to give you 15 ways to brainstorm, and that was my category number 1. Every single niche that I broke down within that was within number 1, health. So you should already be able to see that if we do that with all of the categories following this, you'll understand how you can mix and match these ideas for interiors and covers that create endless options. Hopefully that train of thought can help you map out how to get from one idea to a smaller niche, and how to take one idea when you're feeling not very creative and be able to expand it into others. So I'll leave you with that for item number 1, and I won't take as deep of a dive on all of the others following up. Category number 2 is finance. Finance is always another huge seller regardless of the product. And when we talk about finance, there are always people looking to find ways to save money in a fun way or in a more creative way. So you don't have to be an ex-banker or an investment advisor to put together a book in the finance arena. You can do something as simple as creating a budget tracker. Put together a daily budget tracker and make it a 365-page book. Put together a weekly budget tracker and make it a 52-page book. You can create different designs for savings challenges that the user could rip out and use month to month when they need a new fun way to get themselves to save money in an at-home envelope challenge. A third category to think about, occupations. And there, of course, you can think about your specific occupation and any industry jargon you know. Perhaps a journal that has some specific phrase that only folks in your industry would reference could be a great way to break into a micro niche that isn't being represented yet. But there are also occupations that deserve extra appreciation year round, and we know have needs for things like planners and journals. So think about teachers, nurses, doctors. What type of specific logbooks do they need? What type of specific planners do they need? Teachers might be thrilled to have planners that start on Monday, go to Friday, not starting on Sunday through Saturday. There are all types of ways that you can take the occupation category, and especially if you combine them with one of these other niche ideas, figure out exactly what type of product you can make that would get colleagues within that occupation to buy for one another on birthdays and holidays and special occasions. The fourth category is sports. And of course, we can do with sports what we did with health earlier, break down sports into all of the different sports out there. Swimming, soccer, golf, basketball, football. For each of these sports, you might want to think how a leader, like a coach or a trainer, would use them, and then consider how the athlete themselves would use them. So perhaps training logbooks, maybe playbooks. Maybe there are even big fans out there that like to log stats they follow or all of the games they've been to. Along those same lines is category number 5, hobbies. Perhaps you have a fisherman who always takes a picture of his biggest catch of the day, and it would make a great gift to give him a fishing journal. Whatever type of information people enjoy tracking for their specific niche hobby would make another great journal interior and fun exterior. Number 6 is games. And I'm thinking here about card games, board games, and all of the types of games that have scoring sheets that always end up disappearing or we use up too quickly. So you may have to tread lightly here because you do want to be cautious about not infringing on any intellectual property. You may not be able to use the specific game title on the notepad, but you know there are consumers out there that track all of their stats in the most recent bridge match, or they play a summer-long gin rummy tournament with their families, and having a notepad dedicated to that is something they might be looking for. Idea number 7 is in the crafts segment. Crafters have tons of products, and of course we can do a lot of the same things like a logbook, but when I think of crafts and I think of how my craft room looks at this very moment, I'm thinking, what about an inventory log? What about crafters that don't just craft as a hobby, but they sell for business? They might need a book of orders. You can also create low content books specifically within scrapbooking and ephemera junk journals if you have interest in that area and have an eye for design. Category 8 is music. You can take music and break it down into training sessions or logbooks like you did for sports, so that musicians can log how long they practiced, when they practiced, how they performed at their most recent recital. You can also provide blank music note sheets so that your product is more like a singer-songwriter personal notebook. Similarly, we can look at category number 9, arts. Within arts, you might have photographers, painters, sculptors that, like the craft category, might have inventory that they need to take stock of. They might also be trying to perfect a new technique and need to take notes on what went well and what went wrong, like how a chef might track a new recipe they're trying out. Category number 10 brings us to family. Family, relationships, friendships. What type of notebooks and journals can families give each other? A popular book that I've seen pop up in family is Tell Me Your Story, Mom, where it's a guided journal full of blanks for a mom to be able to share her story with a child. And of course, that has expanded into dad and grandparents. And it's a notebook filled with prompts to be able to kind of pass down that family heritage and all those childhood stories from parents that don't always make it down to the next generation. Family category also lends itself to a lot of coupon style books. For instance, before young kids make an allowance or can go shopping, they might make a coupon book for mom saying, I owe you one night of doing the dishes. Or alternatively, the parents might give a child a reward coupon. You've earned ice cream for breakfast one morning because of your great grades on your report card. So coupon books are also an interesting idea within a family niche. Number 11, since we just talked about people, let's talk about animals. The animal category, of course, can bring you down so many different lanes as well. If you merged animals with hobbies, you could get into a bird watching log and notebook for those who want to track what they saw, where, and when. If you travel a lot, maybe you need a pet notebook that's filled with your pet's vaccines, their primary medical information, and has blank pages for whoever's pet sitting to log when they fed and walked the dog. That way you don't have to print out the same instructions every time. We've also got category number 12, fashion. Within the fashion category, you might have designers who are really looking for a sketchbook. And although you can't just create a fully blank sketchbook, what if you could pull some famous popular quotes from Coco Chanel or Audrey Hepburn about specific styles or looks that they have and put them on pages to help inspire up-and-coming fashion designers. You could do the same maybe for interior design. Maybe think about jewelry designers who might appreciate a book of differently shaped heads and faces so that they can draw different shapes and styles of sunglasses or hats or jewelry directly onto mock-ups. Category 13 is travel. Just like all of the categories before this, we could break travel down in another several dozen ways. You could break it down by country. You could make a log of a road trip across the United States. You could make logs of where your family has gone camping in their RV so that you know which campsites you liked and disliked, or which hotels you liked and disliked. With travel, you do want to make sure that you're not treading on any copyright infringement. So while there's a huge market for everything Disney lovers, you certainly want to stay far away from infringing on anything Disney. But what about creating a memories notebook of your favorite theme parks or your favorite summer vacations together as a family? Another way to combine niches is to think about travel plus occupations. There are many drivers out there that need to keep diligent mileage logs for their job. And then in my last two categories, I brought in ways to think about all of the categories before and adding a little bit extra. So instead of being their own categories about topics, number 14 is think about specifically who the book is for, perhaps by age or by person. So it might be the perfect time to say that it's a wellness journal for teens, for new mom, for dad, anything that people find and on those gift giving occasions are going to say, oh, perfect. I didn't know what else to grab, but this is specifically for dad. So I'll throw that in. And that brings me to my final one. Idea 15 is to think about the occasion. So whether it's a for Father's Day, for a specific birthday, for a specific holiday. Holidays, of course, are huge, seasonal items and holidays. So if it's Christmas and Hanukkah time and you mix that category with coloring book, bam, you've got a ton of ideas that you know people will pick up and add into stockings as those little last items that low content books lend themselves to. A lot of occasions that I think do well are specific year birthdays. And I'm thinking specifically first birthday, maybe first through 10th, because you always have somebody who goes, wow, this is specifically for my 5th birthday and it's unicorn themed. She's going to love this. So if there's something that is incredibly popular with a certain age group of kids, you might want to make it with a 7th birthday, 8th birthday, 9th birthday, because there are going to be buyers out there that say, wow, this is too perfect to pass up, even though it's not something I was looking for. And with that, we just went through 15 categories of ways to brainstorm niches for your low content product. And I say 15, but I think we broke it down through every single micro niche. You can see that there's already a few dozen hidden in just what we've covered in a short time in this video. If you took all of those and you mixed and matched them, extrapolated them different ways, added in different colors and themes and patterns to the designs, you'll see how there are hundreds of ideas to keep you busy as you publish low content books. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of these niches, and if this was helpful to you in the video, please drop a comment and let me know. And if you have any other questions about your publishing, also throw it in the comments. I reply to every single one personally, and I truly hope we can continue to grow together in our KDP journeys.